Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well. No, it's not Talk Sport. There's a new layout here on NFTV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Sam Mulliner, how are you?
Thank God it's not Talksport. I'm very well. How are you? Have you come down from our wonderful day at St James's Park on Sunday for the women's match?
Great weekend all around. Pity about the first team, but it was a long weekend, great weekend. I know you were shattered. I was shattered as well for editing reasons, but yeah, it was a great experience on Sunday. It was fantastic. We've got quite a bit of rattle through tonight. Of course, the training ground upgrades. Me and Sam will be talking about that, and we're going to use the tactical pad and talk all about Man City, Newcastle, and then we're going to kick Sam off. Have you got baby duties, or you just knackered?
No, because Johnny wanted to come in. So
Johnny's joining.
don't try and blame my kids for everything. That's my shtick.
So Johnny will be joining us a little bit later, and we're going for the presser and a bit of team news ahead of Manchester City, which I'll be gallivanting down to Manchester for our vids on this weekend, which is going to be a difficult task. But if you're watching the rerun, get your comments in down below, of course, with all the news off the field, of course, which we are discussing, and on the field as well, with injury updates coming a little bit later. So shall we get cracking, Sam?
Absolument.
I think the biggest news, and I'll just change this around so you can see this when we move into the share screen facility, of course, is the big news today, is that there is plans, official plans, not just talk, Sam. You put it out on Twitter earlier on today. About time, in it. Let's face it.
It is about time, and again, like the headline says there, it is a short-term fix. The plan is still very much to find a location and build a whole new training complex elsewhere. I mean, look, we've had ex-players on from the Sir Bobby Robson era saying, which was the last time it had any kind of major upgrade, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it. It's like 20 years ago. Stephen Taylor told us it's a barn conversion, and Ollie Bernard told us the other week in the pub that it's just very, very basic, and it has been basic. I mean, the training complex Eddie Howe left at Bournemouth is more technologically advanced than our own. I mean, we all remember the pictures of first teams in paddling pools and wheelie bins. That's not befitting of a Premier League team. So it is long overdue, of course it is. But the plan is still, as I say, very much to build a whole new training complex from scratch. But this will certainly keep us ticking over in the meantime.
Yeah, obviously there's the classic pictures. There's one even with Matt Ritchie. I don't know if you've seen that one. Matt Ritchie's getting in. He's looking, what the hell is happening? The only player who I'm going to have to find it. I'll put on the socials. Chancellor Mbemba's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. The rest of them are like thinking, what am I doing here? What am I doing getting in the paddling pool? So yeah, but you can see on your screen there, and it's gone out. Obviously, North Tyneside Council, which is in Benton. Facilities are obviously the one. Of course, these new pools, which they want to copy off teams such as Manchester City, more physio rooms. More tactical meetings are on the cards. The work has already started in Benton for club staff, hoping for pre-season. That's already some updates. It looks like the council are obviously going to give the go-ahead. Of course, I mean, why wouldn't they? It'd be pretty daft not to. But have a look at the article on here. It's all on the Chronic if you want to have a proper read about it. News glazed doors. Obviously, Amanda Staveley and my dad who've spoken about it.
That reminds me of Sir Bobby. You remember the clip when he's showing Gary Lineker around St James's Park when it had all been done up, and he's just absolutely swooning over the oak panel doors around the ground. I love that.
Yeah, I'm guessing Lineker didn't really go to the training ground. I hope not. But yeah, as I say, it looks like a terrace. Easy for me to say. Row of bungalows. Look, it's not the greatest. Let's face it. I mean, even the club admitted it, Sam. If you look at it down here, they just, the club admitted it here that, it falls below Premier League club standards and even championship.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We all knew that. Everyone knew that. All the fans knew that. But our previous owner said it was fit for purpose and cancelled the plans. When Pardew was manager, I think it was, that they had to upgrade the training complex at Benton. But Yeah, there you go. That tells you all you need to know about our previous owner and how much we fell behind with things like the training ground, stuff like that, just real basic, simple stuff.
And you remember just recently, even Rafa Benitez was going on about it, and you got a lick of paint, literally a lick of paint that Rafa got. And hooray, that's all we got. And obviously there is plans to have pools because it's obviously helps with especially muscle injuries. And also you can work out a lot harder in pools, swimming pools, your body works harder.
Does it?
It does, yeah, it does. I take it you don't go swimming much, do you?
No, I mean, you can take it from the pictures of us on Sunday that time, a fat fucker. So, yeah. Well, I'll take your word for it on that one.
I'm not all slim, but swimming is great for your legs, your body, your muscles. There's also plans for things like, I don't know if you've seen All or Nothing, Manchester City, stuff like that, where Pep Guardiola's got a big, massive meeting room. They do have one of them, Chris Waffle said, but it's nowhere near as big as City's, because City's goes up like a big, massive, like a uni, like a complex where you're watching your teacher at the bottom with a big, massive whiteboard and screen behind you. So there's plans for that. Better state of facilities, everything will get done. So it tells you those, Sam, what it does tells us that the club aren't moving base as of yet.
No, but all of this work can be completed over the summer. So it is literally short term and a quick fix, if you like. The new training ground is still probably 2 or 3 years away. But, that's not that I wouldn't lead that to be a cause of concern at all. This is just completely all positive news. And as our esteemed co-host says in the comments there, it may well help with our injury record because it was appalling. How many injuries did we used to pick up in training at the training ground because the pitches were terrible? Well, are terrible. It only really seemed like Rafa and, touch wood, Eddie Howe at the moment seems like they've got to grips with keeping everyone as fit as possible, but yeah, it's in a poor state of affairs. I remember watching that video that the club put out of Amanda and Murdad going around the training ground, and yeah,
not great. But look, they've come in, they've talked about it, and now the planning is put in place. They're proving what they say, they're backing up everything they're saying from top to bottom, from transfers to NUFC women, who looks like they may get a base very, very soon as well. But yeah, so if you are watching, please smash that like button. We've got Johnny coming up a little bit later to discuss the presser and, of course, injuries and team news ahead of Manchester City. And members get so much more. Starts at just $1.99. I talked about the whole media day on Sunday. A good 8-minute video talking about what we went through on the day and my feelings about that. So have a look at it. Sam and Johnny do videos on what guests they've got coming up as well. Yep. We'll have a look at what you're saying in the comments before we move forward. Wilson, let's sell her goal. Not sure what that's
the overhead kick. Yeah, good goal.
Yeah, Miggy's is better. Evening, lads, says Ollie, thank you very much as ever. And Ross, I've noticed you in the comments quite a lot recently as well, all the way from Nepal, which is great to see. Wolfstone, as ever. Hi, look, good news. Johnny Boy, it might help without injury record, as Johnny Sam was saying. Sorry, Trippier return. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Wolfstone. Love from Nepal.
They're having their own little freaking monologue in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, good job, Johnny. He's coming on late. He's gobby in the comments, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I mean, if you want to talk to Johnny Wolfstone, we can help out with that as well behind the scenes if you want to. Good evening, Patty, as well. Hope you're inside joke. Good evening, lads. I hope you're doing all well. We are indeed. Right, we're going to pause there because obviously you can see above Sam's head, pointing up for Sam, that we are sponsored by One Football today. We're not going to play a clip, we're just going to talk about it. It's something that we use on a regular basis. I use it. Well, the good thing about it, when Sam's gone to bed and I put out some Twitter news at night time, I start to find some transfer rumours, which I'll stick out on my socials as well. So, so Sam's on there as well. It also pings whilst you're watching live matches with Newcastle. So if you're watching a stream, I wouldn't recommend that because it'll be ahead of your stream. But if you're out and about, it pings literally, and the signal's that good. It does it whilst I'm at St. James's Park, and I can't even get on WhatsApp for about 30 minutes, send a message, and the lads are like delayed, but one football pings through. So for some reason, I don't know why that works. Fantastic app. You're going to need it over the summer, or you might be sick of it with all the transfer rumours. But if you want to keep up to date with all of that, One Football above Sam's head is the place to be, and they proudly sponsor us as well. So we've got them in the background of this new layout as well. So, and if you are liking it, smash that like button, please do. Paddy the Irishman, yeah. I wouldn't imagine with a name like that. I would hope so. So that was the training complex update. Of course, when that develops, we'll put up the socials. We'll talk more.
It'll be quite interesting, won't it? Like when the time does come for a new whole training complex, whether the academy will be there, will the like a St George's Park thing where everything will be under one roof, or I don't know, what are they going to do with the old base, because it's still club-owned land, isn't it? So it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting couple of years on that front, and to see how them sort of facilities evolve and you know.
It is interesting because now we know that they're not going to move short term. So they're updating the facilities, which is probably going to take maybe 12 months to do some of them. Not all of them, but some of them. I don't know the planning.
The short term stuff. No, they want to get it done in the summer.
I know, but how long will it take to have everything done in the short term? Possibly, maybe up to a year. But we'll see how fast that can develop. That tells me that they're not obviously moving anytime soon, which we know. But the long-term aim is to have a world-class facility. And Sam's obviously said that maybe have the women's team, under 23s, the first team, and so on in one base, which will be ideally what you want as a club. But look, they've got ambitions there, which is great, which we like. I think also what might take it a factor, they might be struggling to find an area as well for planning permission, rights. Money is not an object, we know that, but that's what the club is struggling. Short term, they need to do something, especially, if you want another Bruno Gomes coming through your door, he comes back along and he sees a bungalow, row of terrace houses. That's what it looks like, let's face it. We'll see. But speaking of what you just mentioned there, I'm going to be doing something in Manchester City. I'm going to have a walk around from the women's stadium around to the first team, and I'm going to make a video on what Manchester City have done. I've done something similar to this before in the past, but I want to talk more about up to date. I'm going to be doing that, not a match day, but a couple of days later, where Newcastle can look at it and copy, not so much copy, but get ideas from it as well. Because their match day experience is phenomenal. They have live bands on, things happening, playing games, all that sort of stuff. We've talked about this on the channel.
Playing games?
Yeah, the kids can play games like five-a-side. There's face painting. There's loads.
I thought you meant like Twister and Buckaroo and shit like that.
Hopscotch, Kirby. Yeah. There you go, making a swing in the woods. We're going to switch the layout because this is something that we've introduced into the channel quite recently, and I'm going to try and get Sam to have a go at this one day. So it's not all me. We're going to talk. I'll put a full
I want
screen.
like a Sky touchpad affair. I want I need to change. You need to buy me a new laptop so it's touchscreen, so I can be like Jamie Carragher on a Monday night. A
big screen. Well, we need a base for that, which we'll have talked about. Before we begin, let's see what he's actually saying in the comment. Great channel, lads. Keep on fire. I think that means Paddy. Thank you. Alan Shearer statue is starting to move. Yeah, that's on the socials.
Is it by itself?
By move, yeah. I watch the chances of a 1 and 2 for the Red Hours on Sunday. Lee's favourite boys. For our boys, yeah, we are doing a video on that, so stay tuned for NFTV Extra. I'll be sending a couple of clips. Matt's doing the hosting there. And thank you again once 1:30 a.m. Wow. It's pretty good to stay up that time and watch us like. But yeah, as you can see, it's Manchester City's lineup. This is the team. First of all, Sam, what did you make of the Real Madrid 2 games? Unreal, weren't they?
Football.
I love it.
God, it's great, isn't it? What a crazy game. There's a few dodgy refereeing decisions, wasn't there? But just as a pure spectacle, that Real Madrid team just doesn't know when it's beat. Absolutely unbelievable, wasn't it? Absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, wow. I was speechless after that game.
It's incredible. Right, you're going to pick the Man City side, so we make the obvious one. We know that Kyle Walker's injured, so he's going to come out that side. What happens at right back?
So you would suggest that Cancelo will switch to right back and then Zinchenko will come in on the left?
Yeah, okay.
I would be amazed if you see anything other than that. I mean, in terms of the back four as well, I didn't think Diaz had the greatest of games on Wednesday night. I don't know about you.
Do you reckon Ake might have a come in, or is he going to sit out this
I
one?
think there's a real big chance that Ake could come in. I mean, look, they played 120 minutes on Wednesday, didn't they? I know they're probably used to that, but do you want to? I don't know. Do you want to just switch it up a little bit and maybe rest, or just pull Diaz out of one game? I'm not so sure. It wouldn't surprise me to see Ake involved at all. But look, they're strongest centre backs are the two we've got on screen there. Of course, Stones is still injured as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I've got the injuries down here. So what we're doing then, we're putting Ake in, or we'll keep him on the bench?
Keep him on the bench.
Keep him on the bench. So that's the back four. Do you think there'll be a change in centre midfield here? So
almost certainly. You can't keep the same engine room after a game like that. I mean, you're already picking up Gundogan there. I mean, Bernardo Silva's been their best player this season, in my opinion. I think he's been absolutely superb. Do you remember like a couple of seasons ago where he was like linked to Arsenal or something like that?
Yeah.
God, I bet they're glad he stayed now.
Really,
it wouldn't surprise me to see him come out for this one.
We'll spin up, so Silva comes out and just literally legs Gundogan.
Yeah, De Bruyne got subbed off a bit early, didn't he? Oof. Yeah, but Pep's kicking himself over that. And Rodri's obviously the old Makelele role in front of the back four, isn't he?
You say Fernandinho the captain, or is he going to sit out once again?
No, I think this is probably a game for him, isn't it? He did come on, didn't he? On Wednesday. I would say Fernandinho comes in for Rodri.
And then further up the pitch then, so we've got Jack Grealish.
Change Rodri.
Yeah, we're taking Rodri out?
Yeah.
Who for?
Fernandinho.
Oh, so you think that will happen then?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Right, I thought Fernandinho might stay on the bench, but we'll go with Fernandinho, the old man who was leaving City.
I mean, trying to predict a Pep 11 is difficult enough as it is, and let's face it. I mean, anyone who's played fantasy football for more than one season will know exactly what I'm on about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Further up the pitch then, funny enough, when Jack Grealish came on, he would, Man City were going through. Bless them. And then, obviously, I don't know if you've seen the tweet that went out saying Hala Madrid a few years ago, and that got retweeted like thousands and thousands of times. So, yeah, he's deleted that tweet, hasn't he? I think Sterling's going to come in.
100%.
So, but who for?
I mean, I think you could make a case for Sterling and Grealish to come in for Foden and Mahrez, to be honest.
So we'll take Foden and Mahrez out. Sterling.
Mahrez has been superb this season as well.
So you think that's what this or the
yeah.
Because Grealish has predominantly played on the left, hasn't he?
I mean, yeah.
Then again, you can always play Sterling up top.
You could, and you could keep Mahrez on or something like that. I mean, again, it doesn't really matter. They've got such an abundance of quality and squad depth. I mean, you could make a real strong case for any permutation. But yeah, I think with that hard game that went to extra time in the week, that I would just assume that would be the case. I mean, don't get me wrong, it certainly wouldn't surprise me, as I say, to see the likes of Mahrez stay in the side. Been absolutely superb all season, probably for Grealish, if that was to happen, because I think you will 100% see Raheem Sterling start, and he's got a great record against us as well, hasn't he? So maybe that's that's probably the slight deviation you could make from the 11 we've picked on the screen there.
We'll come to Newcastle in a second. Just seeing what you're saying in the comments. Best two games I've seen in ages. The Champions League since the quarterfinals has been brilliant. Every single game has been outstanding.
Why would you want to fuck around with the format?
No, why? No. And I could want more in. It's a bit like the World Cup.
Unless you're going to bring back the old second group phase from when we were last in it.
Oh, those were the days, man, wasn't it? Those were the days. United and Rotterdam, the very end of the first section, and then Milan, yeah. Hope we try and play on the front foot on Saturday. Attack, yeah. We'll talk more about the game a little bit later when Johnny joined us. I think Sterling will start. He didn't get many mins against Real Madrid. And Ollie thinks Zinchenko, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Sterling, and maybe Grealish will come in. So kind of green
Ollie's never far off the mark, so we've got it right there, then, haven't we?
You're paying him, are you?
No, not at all. He's a member. He's paying us.
Yes, thank you for your membership as well. You get exclusive stuff in the Discord. I don't know if Ollie's in the Discord, is he? Is he? I can't remember. Yeah, he is. Sorry, yeah, he is, because that many people, man. Please join us. Membership is underneath saying join. It's going to send us a message, isn't it, Winnie? Right, let's have a look at Newcastle, because we've got the City team. We'll switch it to Newcastle United. Let's go then. So I think it's obvious for the goalkeeper. I think it's pretty unanimous. Well, we'll come to the right back in a second, but I think the back 3 out of 4.
No, Cher's not fit.
Definitely.
I would say he hasn't trained all week.
So you think he just won't play it at all?
I would think it's going to be Bernard Lascelles personally.
Okay, right. I'll let you pick the team then, since you can get all the stick if you're wrong.
And I'm fine with that.
No, that's fine. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Jamal Lascelles will come in if Fabian Schär doesn't make it. Now, the golden question that everyone's got in the comments that we've seen Kieran Trippier in training. Eddie Howe said he's a little bit behind, but there is a chance he might be involved. Does Trippier start?
No.
He doesn't. So who does?
Aaron Hughes. No. Emil Kraft starts.
I thought you would never say that on this channel.
Well, got a good record against City, hasn't he? Scored against them last season.
Yeah, great header.
Great header. And look, he deserves to keep his place. And the way Eddie Howe picks his team these days, if you've got the shirt, you keep it until you've lost it. I mean, you've just picked that comment up. If Schär's fit, there's every chance you could see a back five, but I don't think you will if Schär's not fit. I mean, look, Fernandes will be leaving. I don't think you'll see him in a black and white shirt again. Could Paul Dummett play as the left-sided centre back, Burn in the middle, then Lascelles on the right hand of the three? I think you could make a real argument for that.
Do you reckon it's 4 then?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, why not? Do you expect, because obviously I've got Manchester City, I'm going to put the average positions in a second. Do you expect with fullbacks to actually just be fullbacks, as in a back 4 flat line?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I don't think you'll see with fullbacks bombing up and down.
You'll see Target get forward, but you won't see Kraft get forward much.
I don't think we'll see any of them get past the halfway line as much. Are we going for the same 3 midfield, or do you think Willock will come in?
No, I don't think Willock will. I think it'll be John Joe, and Bruno.
Yeah, I think Gomez is right at the back, I think. Where is he?
39.
Because he's magic. So I think that'll be the midfield 3. We are going to look at battles in a second. And then...
that, to me, look at where you've put them, them two there, Gomez against De Bruyne. Oof.
Yeah, because Joe Linton normally plays on the front of the 3, but you might see them out of possession. You might see Joe Linton over here, Bruno over here. So
that's a test for Bruno, isn't it? That's a real test.
It reminds you, I think you're doing all right against Liverpool's 3.
I don't
think he's outstanding.
To be honest, I think Milner dealt with Bruno pretty well. I have to be honest.
Yeah, Milner was given man of the match, wasn't he? I
didn't have too many complaints with that. I thought, obviously, Liverpool, the likes of Liverpool and City, are still a cut above where we are. Well, we're a few cuts above from where we are, but yeah, Johnny finally admitting that I was right all along. Shock. But yeah. I mean, Bruno against De Bruyne. Then that's the battle you want to see, isn't it? That's a proper test.
Yeah, it's decent, isn't it? Yeah, we'll come at the battles. Now, I'm going to leave the strikers because you said something interesting before. Now the ESM one, I'm going to talk about him in a second because he's been mentioned in the press comments as well.
It's doing my nut in, that is.
So I take it he starts as normal on the left.
Yeah, absolutely.
And over on the right, then, are you going for Miggy or we're going for Murphy?
No, Miggy deserves to keep his place.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then, who's playing up top?
I think Callum Wilson starts on Sunday.
Full screen. Say that again.
Dun, dun, dun. I think Callum Wilson starts on Sunday. He's trained all week. Eddie Howe was nothing but positive in his presser today. I think he's ready. I think you'll see him for an hour on Sunday.
It's a big call. I don't personally. I think you'll come off the bench and be given 20 minutes to half an hour. I think the other way around. But hey, well, even if any one of us are wrong, it's just great.
It's not like you've got a game for 3 days later or anything, is it? Our next game isn't until the following Monday night.
I think you'll play it safe because there's nothing riding on it, really.
I think they have played him safe already. I think if they weren't playing it safe, he would have been back. Well, Steve Bruce probably would have had him a month ago and he'd be injured again by now. But I think he's ready.
I wouldn't be surprised either. He doesn't start Burnley game either. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he might be just substituted every single time. No. But okay, I think it's a good that we're seeing him back, regardless if I'm right or you're right. I think it's just brilliant to see him back because it'll be a boost. And he's a character.
And if he doesn't, I would be starting Wood again. I'd be starting Wood and I'd be sticking him on Diaz and make him feel as uncomfortable as possible after his. He didn't have the best game against Madrid, did he? But they're a bit better than Chris Wood. But the biggest compliment I can pay Chris Wood is, look, there's not been many games since he's come in, and we've said after the game, we've really missed Wilson today.
So Sam is going for Callum Wilson, which you can see up top there with the 3D version. We're going to look at the battles in a moment, but that's what predominantly Sam thinks as well from both teams. Very similar formations. It'll be almost, if we do play 4 at the back, it's matching what Manchester City would normally play. But
I think as well, if we do go for a 5 at the back, you'll probably see ASM up top again, and Joe Linton on the wing, Bruno and Guimaraes in the centre, and then you'll see like a Dummett or whatever drop in to a back 5.
So we'll have a look at the average positions. Now for me, if I come over to the toolkit over here, I think this is, I don't know why I'm pointing arrows. I'll have to clear that. Oh, what's going on there? That's very strange, isn't it? I'll clear that. There we go. I'll get back to where I was saying. I think Cancelo will literally, average position will be up here.
Yeah.
I think it'll be so far in advance. And I think Sterling will be probably more here.
Yeah.
And I think Grealish will be more here. Jesus more here. I think De Bruyne will be getting forward into this role. I think Gundogan's probably about there. Fernandinho I think is fine. And I think Zinchenko will be a little bit higher up, but nowhere near as Cancelo. Is Cancelo the best right back in the league?
Well, he's been playing left back most of the time.
Or even best left back? Is he the best full back then? I think he is. I don't think there's anyone better than
him. I mean, the way Robertson has been playing lately on left back, I mean, kind of hard for me to get away from that. Best right back, possibly.
It's just brilliant, man. He scored obviously against us, of course, last season as well. Kraft, Lascelles, Burn, fullback, Trippier and Target, says Geordie. Trent Alexander-Arnold, says Johnny. Yeah, I think Cancelo, because I think...
He's a closet Liverpool fan, isn't he?
I think left or right, Cancelo is just the best. He's just phenomenal. Right, so Newcastle's average positions. Are we thinking that we're going to be a little bit more...
You may as well just drag them all. Drag them all back. ASM's
I
average.
think our year on would be almost...
Oh, absolutely.
Almost the second right back. I can't say ESM. I think he will help out, don't get me wrong. But I think this is probably more realistic that Newcastle are going to set up and try and play on the counter.
Yeah.
So, where are the battles then? If I put people back in the positions, where are the battles tomorrow? Where key?
I mean, look, the midfield's obviously a huge one, and then you look at the wing backs out wide. Kraft against Sterling. I mean, this time last year it had sent shivers down your spine, and you know, maybe it still does to a certain extent, but nowhere near as much as it used to. Look, Kraft's been dealing with many things manfully, and I thought he was in contention for our best player against Liverpool, the way he was clearing up after centre-backs. That's going to be a big one. The centre-backs are going to have to be on it, because they'll see an influx of people arriving late into the box. They'll see Sterling cut inside. They'll see Grealish cut inside. It's going to be backed against the wall for a lot of the time. But if those are the two starting 11s, then Kevin De Bruyne against Bruno Guimaraes is box office. Absolute box office.
Yeah, those two in midfield. So we know that obviously with Bruno fighting for the ball, but what do you do with De Bruyne then? Do you just get everybody going like literally tight room? Because out of those midfield three, I think Joe Linton's the best one at winning the ball back. But I have seen in recent games that even the swap around the high press, whoever does it, we've seen it, even John Joe do it in a couple of times. We've seen Joe Linton do it as well. They take turns, and there must be like coordination between the three, who goes and who stays. Do we do that again, or we literally just park the bus and think, come on then, you come to us? Or do we go in for the tackle? Do we go high press?
I think this time last season we'd be parking the bus, wouldn't we? Just think back to that freaking FA Cup game. But I don't think that's Eddie Howe's way. He's not here to park the bus. He doesn't park the bus, which is why we've taken to him. So you're right in what you say. That do you know what? You might even see Joe Linton on De Bruyne. If that's the case, you might even see that, and then you'd have Bruno with Gundogan. Counter-attack's going to be pivotal, which again is another reason why you could see 1, a 5 at the back, and 2, ASM play down the middle to try and burn off Diaz and Laporte, who already have pretty tired legs in there.
Do you think ASM will literally pick the ball out? If he is on the left, he's going to come in.
He will, but the thing is there, then you'll have Fernandinho come across. You'll have Gundogan come across. And like you would against Liverpool, all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he's got 3 players on him. So,
well, if you're seeing that though, if he is, because look, he has been a little bit out of form. Does that then free up? Because I think Wilson's better suited to ESM than what Chris Wood is.
100% he is. Of course he is. Yeah, Wilson's a lot more mobile than Chris Wood, and for someone so mobile, he's also good in the air.
Strong as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's essentially more of a complete striker. Yeah, I know you've always had a bit of a problem with the link up between Maxi and Chris Wood.
I've been proved right though.
Yeah, there is some foundation to that. However, I don't think I'm not in the business of just criticising Chris Wood just for the sake of it, because on the whole, I do think he has had a very positive impact on the team.
That's just ASM, not me.
What? Oh, ASM. See, this is bollocks. I mean, it must be a slow news day. Yeah. Everyone latching onto it. It was so obvious at the time when these quotes came out as well that they've just been taken so out of context. And just yeah, I'm glad you've corrected yourself there, Geordie Toon for life, because you're about 4 seconds away from me doing it for you. Yeah, that's just utter horse shit. That's just not an issue, and I'm glad Howe just played it down. He's not going to get fined because there's no reason for him to get fined. Yeah. It's a load of bollocks.
Yeah, we'll see what Johnny says when he comes in. Going back to this, then I've mentioned him briefly. Are we going to get any joy from? Obviously, you mentioned the SM, but over on this side, I was joking on that you might see Miggy here and just. I know Liam says a lot, but he runs a lot. Is that what we're expecting Miggy to just help Krath out a lot more?
Yeah, I mean the problem I always have with Miggy on the right hand side is that he's too slow in building an attack up, because he's got to come round on himself to get the ball on his left foot. So if Kraft can get the ball out, I mean, look, Zinchenko is a much weaker wing back than Cancelo, isn't he? So there's an area you would sort of target. If we do go with that team, I wouldn't mind seeing Miggy and ASM switching at some point during the half, and just seeing ASM run at Zinchenko just to put him a bit under pressure, because I don't think Zinchenko's all that good. in comparison to all the other players that City have. But if Kraft can get the ball out and look to launch a counter attack, then we could be in business. Look, it's a game where we're going to have very few chances. I mean, City were our bogey team before they got rich. I can't remember winning there in the league that often. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We're winning the League Cup, but
yeah, with the worst starting 11 ever. It was hilarious, that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the league,
Gabo Batan and Roland Aarons and Rob Elliott. Yeah.
Adam Armstrong started that game up front.
Somehow we won, yeah.
Quite comfortably as well. They City started with like Jovetic up front, didn't they? Who had just coming back from like 8 months out, and he was absolutely terrible. But yeah, in the league, I can't remember us winning there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comments, please. When was the last time we won in the league at Manchester City?
Must have been Main Road. Gotta be. And even then, Manchester City, before they came back in the Premier League, they were absent for a few years. Yeah. They were plummeted down to third tier. And, it's difficult for some teams to get out the third tier.
Yeah. Oh, can I just say, best of luck to Sheffield Wednesday in the playoffs.
Amen to that. Amen to that as well. But yeah, anything else on that team? Or you pretty talked about much of it?
Yeah, I think again, there's arguments. I mean, look, under Steve Bruce, the team pretty much picked itself, didn't it? And it was tedious at the best of times. But now Eddie Howe, we have a plan, we have an identity, we have a lot more about us. So I mean, I wouldn't be against switching to 5 at the back for this game. I wouldn't. It wouldn't bother me at all. It'd be nice to see. I say it'd be nice. I mean, if Dummett come in, I don't have an issue with that. I prefer him at centre back. I mean, new contract, new 1-year extension, which again. We're not just handing out 4, 5, 6-year contracts willy-nilly anymore, are we? They're a lot shorter and a lot more sensible in terms of contract length. So, look, if Dummett comes in or even Fede Fernandez for a back 5, I've no issue with that. And you'll probably see ASM up top and Wilson or Wood won't get the go-ahead. But I don't know. I've just got a sneaky suspicion you might see Callum Wilson. And before the game, if you're obviously travelling down to Manchester, if 3:30 the teams come out and you see Callum Wilson starting, it's going to give the away end a big boost, isn't it?
Even if he comes on the bench, I think it will. So I'll get your prediction off here before we bring Johnny in. So Johnny, this is your warning. Get yourself in. What are you going with, Sam?
2-0 defeat.
I think it'll be defeat as well. I think,
and there's nothing wrong with that because we were 19th not so long ago. We've done incredibly well, fantastically well. It's been an absolutely awesome 3 or 4 months as a Newcastle. Well, 5 or 6 months, let's face it, since the takeover. We've had a whale of a time. We've had some great days, but the likes of Liverpool, Man City, they're just a bit too good for us at the moment. So there's no shame in taking this L. And look, we're on 43 points. If I'd have said that to you months ago,
I'll kick Johnny in the background. He's messing up my lovely display.
Exactly.
Bring you in a second.
It just ruins it, doesn't he? Yeah. Look, we've had a great time. We're completely safe from danger. If we get a point, fantastic. But I just can't see it.
All the way to Manchester for a defeat.
Yeah. Beforehand, you'd be going all the way to Norwich for a defeat. You'd be going to here, there, and everywhere, and you're probably not going to get a loss, and you're going to watch 5 at the back and tedious football and playing defensive at fucking Sheffield United with 5 at the back. It's not like that anymore, and you don't mind. We're going to go there. We're going to have a go, but City are very good at football.
Yeah, look, I think we're getting beat as well, but let's say something. Let's say a spirit display. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hung in Liverpool. Liverpool had loads of chances. Don't think Liverpool were ever going to battle her. But we're seeing we might have something to say in the title. So you don't... Actually, I'll ask you before I bring Johnny in. Where do you want the title going to, Sam?
City. I don't like Liverpool.
I want to go into Liverpool because Scouse has Geordie's similar sort of lifestyle, I guess you call it that. Same upbringing. But yeah, Sam, we should love you and leave you. We'll do a substitution.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
See you in a bit. And we'll bring in Johnny. We'll kick Sam away. How are you, Mr. Greenwood?
I'm very good. I tell you what, it's always nice to be substituted for Sam Milner. You always try and get the better player on, don't you?
I was about to say you're the super sub, aren't you?
Yeah. Like you bring Chris Wood off and you put Callum Wilson on.
Do you think Callum Wilson will start? Because Sam thinks so.
No, I don't actually. I think Callum Wilson will be on the bench. I think he's been out for so long. I think his last game was Man United. I don't think you put him in this game against Man City where he's just running around. You could do that at the training ground. You want him to play maybe the last 20 minutes if we're still in the game against Man City. Maybe the last half an hour against Arsenal, and then maybe start him against Burnley. I don't think you play him in the Man City game. I think it's a game for Chris Wood, who has to win his battles.
I remember this game because that was a Shearer header against Tommy Wright.
Yeah, it was. And
Lorna cross on the right. Bloody hell.
You must have been in the early 20s, weren't you?
Yeah, I was bringing that up. No, I would have been 2000. I would have been 14. 14, I remember that because Lawala came off the bench. Lorna cross on the right. Because Tommy Wright had a worldie, former Newcastle goalkeeper. Yeah, we won 1-0. Yeah. Steve Howie was playing for them. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Can't show you. Yeah. But yeah, before we move on to the presser, what's your score prediction?
Look, it's going to be a really tough afternoon. I think City, we'll talk about City a little bit later on and maybe the game against Real Madrid, but City, knowing that they can only win one game, at one cup this season and be in the league, with 4 games to go, I'd be very surprised if they don't beat Newcastle. I'd love to see Newcastle can maybe make it a bit difficult for them, but I think it'll be 2-0 Man City.
Yeah, I think we're all predicting defeat. So injuries then. Sam kind of hit it on. Fabian Schär hasn't trained all week, but this is quotes from Eddie Howe's presser today. Kieran is slightly behind Callum in that he hasn't trained every day, but when he has trained, he's done very well. We'll make a late decision on him. We haven't seen Fabian this week. We hope he'll be back available, but he's not trained yet. He's got a knock on the top of his foot, so he went for a scan after the Liverpool game because it was swollen up, but unfortunately there's no fracture, which is the good news. Obviously, he went off injured. We've seen Jamal Lascelles come in. Do you think it'll be the same the game that ended the back four, that Lascelles starts because Fabian Schär can't make it, hasn't trained?
I think if that's the decision, do Newcastle go 4 or 5 at the back? I would, under the previous manager, if we went 5 at the back, and I would fully expect us to park the bus. That's how we're going to be. We'll play for a 0-0, or if we're very lucky from a set piece, we'll 1-0 and just defend and defend. I think an Eddie Howe back 5 won't be exactly like that. So I think Sam mentioned maybe Dummett comes in at centre half. You have Dummett, Burn, Lascelles if Schär doesn't come, if Schär's not available. If that's the case, I don't think it's massively the end of the world, and you go 5 at the back. But if you're being ultra positive and you look how Man City have reacted, how they've been in the last few days since that game at the Bernabeu, if Schär's fit, go 4 at the back. If he's not fit, go 5 at the back. But just make sure your wing backs can help out going forward, because I think that's where Newcastle have got to try and get joy.
Yeah, look, we're talking about after the Liverpool game. I did want to say 5 at the back because we're going to have to play for. But Kieran Trippier, will he make the bench first of all? Callum Wilson at least will make the bench. Just the lift that it brings to the first team, and not just that, the fans who are travelling.
100%. Look, I think if you see Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier in that, if both of them on the bench, I think you're thinking, oh, brilliant. Look, I know me and Sam have a bit of banter and a bit of a laugh. Kieran Trippier is our best right back at the football club. We could both agree on that. Emil Kraft has been absolutely fine. He's had some good games. He's had some mediocre games. He's not really put a foot wrong. However, when you've got Kieran Trippier potentially available, you think, ooh, yeah, we want him in straight away. And that's probably a little bit harsh on Kraft, but I don't see him doing that. I don't. I think they'll both be on the bench, and depending on how the game goes, you might bring them on. But look, I think I'd rather them start the Arsenal game, to be honest. I think Newcastle can beat Arsenal next Monday. I really can. At St James's, last home game of the season, Arsenal have everything to lose potentially if they don't beat Newcastle. I think that's got to be the game.
Yeah, it'd been interesting that Monday night last. I can't remember a home game being last Newcastle's home game on a nighttime game, like the lap of honour and everything.
On Monday night.
I cannot remember it. Yeah.
it's funny because it kind of doesn't really count, but the last home game on a Monday night was Man United this season on the 27th. But if you're going further back than that,
can't remember last game of the season.
You might remember it. You might remember the last time we played a Monday night in the Premier League. It was at home. It was against Wigan. In the year Wigan got relegated but won the cup, won 3-0 where Biggie Romano scored.
Oh, when he curled him from the left, curled one.
Yeah.
God, that far back, the miles back. That's
such a long time ago, isn't it?
It is. It's mad saying on a nighttime game. Newcastle, obviously, we expect to play on the counter. We expect Man City to have all the ball, Johnny. How it's hard because you need to nitpick against Manchester City, but Guardiola has obviously been in the press today and asked a couple of difficult questions about the Champions League games, which were phenomenal to watch. Brilliant. Every single Champions League game since the last 8 have been phenomenal. Did he change it? Obviously, we went through the lineup before. Do you agree with some of the stuff that we were saying, that there will be some changes from his end?
Yeah, I think he'll make subtle changes. I think Nathan Ake will definitely come in, whether that be at left back or at centre half. I think he'll come back in. Going forward, De Bruyne only played 70 minutes, which for a team like Manchester City, 70 minutes isn't really that much, is it? So I think he'll definitely start. I think it is those are wide attacking areas. You look at the 4 players City have got in those positions with Jesus up top. You're looking at Mahrez, Foden, Sterling, and Grealish. I feel at the minute the best 2 on form are Mahrez and Foden, but I do sort of agree when you've played such a long time, in a game, and you've got Sterling and Grealish who are probably quite fresh, and especially Grealish, who was so unfortunate to score against Real Madrid. I think them 2 could come back in and it'd be absolutely fine. I don't think as a Man City fan you'd be like, oh, Sterling and Grealish are starting. I think people will say this is a great time to play Man City, a great time to play them.
Is it?
I slightly disagree. I don't think there's any good time to play this Manchester City, because, like I say, they're 4 games away from winning the title. It's in their own hands. Any slight mistake, and you'd probably expect Liverpool to win the league, because Liverpool just are playing so well at the minute. I can't see many changes, but if you're going to see changes, I would imagine Fernandinho may come in, Ake might come in, Gundogan might start, and Foden and Mahrez are on the bench. But I don't know. You can't. Can you play 120 minutes and not make any changes? I find that hard, because I think they've got Wolves 3 days later, Man City.
Yeah, Eddie Howe's been talking about Manchester City. He's gone, look, it can work both ways. It can have an emotional effect on them, or a positive or a negative. We have to prepare for the best for Manchester City, so we need to be the best Newcastle we can be. We need more intensity than last week, that's for sure. And that's a key thing that he's brought up, because he talked about that last week after the defeat at Liverpool, that it just, although it's only 1-0 defeat, he said he was disappointed in the performance. And that shows how far we've came, because Steve Bruce would have turned around and said, well, we only got beat 1-0, the longer I stayed in the game, could have had a chance and all that. But that shows you that he wants more from this team. And this is against, another world-class elite side. It shows the standards that Eddie Howe sets.
I agree with Eddie Howe. I didn't think that performance was great last week. I really didn't. I thought we gave Liverpool, I think the first 10 minutes we were like, go on then, we'll try and match you as much as we can. And then I think we gave them far too much respect. I really did. I think we could have really actually had a go at them. But we didn't, and it was probably a 1-0 battering in the end, because I think Liverpool had a couple of good chances. But I do agree. I think the intensity needs to be a lot better. I think I would like Chris Wood to start on Sunday. But if he does start, he's got to vastly improve his aerial duels. He's got to win free kicks. He's got to win his battles.
Got to be a bully.
He's got to try and push. He's got to push Newcastle further forward up the pitch. We can't lose the ball when we have, let's say 20-25% possession of the football, because we're not going to have a lot more than that throughout the whole game. And he has got to be a bit cute and a bit clever on how to win free kicks and push Newcastle forward. But he's certainly got that. He's done that at Burnley for such a long time. I think he's got to try and get Saint-Maximin involved, even though he does frustrate me. And
more on him in a second.
I think, yeah, I was thinking about who you have on the other side, and I'm not Jacob Murphy's biggest fan. I'm
I'm not.
But I'd probably start him with a Miggy if it's them two battling it out for the game against City. I have to be honest.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Eddie Howe, how is he preparing for Manchester City? From our perspective, we'll be 100% preparing for the best Manchester City side. So we need to be the best Newcastle can be. Looking back at last week, I think it was a disappointing thing. It's just that we lacked a bit of intensity. We had that intensity, consistency for the last 2 or 3 months, and that's why we didn't get the result that we wanted against Liverpool. I think we can add part of that back in our game on Sunday, and hopefully we can put in a good performance. Look, we know it's going to be a difficult afternoon. I think it could be even worse than Liverpool last week, where Liverpool did create a lot of chances, but they didn't finish off. But yeah, as I say, I'll be there. I'll be doing all the bids and stuff. But we'll move on to some off the field news quite a bit this week, really. The first one was Paul Dummett. And Eddie Howe's gone on to say, like, he's a great personality. He's Newcastle through and through. It's very important that the characters in the squad are the highest quality, and he is. He has a lot to offer on the pitch as well. Now, I did a video on Shea, Dummett, and Longstaff, and I thought Fabian Scheer's nailed on to stay. Paul Dummett, I was like, I don't know. Where I saw Longstaff, I was like, I'm happy for Sean to leave. But it looks like all three of them, obviously Shea's done it, Paul's done it. Paul's done it. Close enough. I can say the two things. We expect Sean to stay as well. Paul Dummett, though, doesn't play very often because he's been injured a lot. He is versatile. Is he ticking boxes because he's a homegrown player?
Slightly harsh, but you'd say yes, but slightly harsh. I was thinking about this today, actually. If you look at the bench that Newcastle had against Liverpool, how many of them would you keep on the bench? There's not many. And Federico Fernandez, I'm sure, is out of contract at the end of this season. And he ain't going to get a new contract. Is it next season?
Yeah.
Well, with the greatest of respect, I think if Newcastle get even a low offer, I think they'd probably take it. And he is probably the Federico Fernandez replacement in terms of the centre half position. I'm not saying that they're very similar in terms of how they play. I think they are subtly different, but I think he's probably the Federico Fernandez replacement. I think again, you can play left back. We've seen him play left back throughout so many years at Newcastle, and I think what Newcastle will look to do in the summer is prioritise certain positions. And they might look at left back and they might look at centre half and think, well, we've just spent a few quid on Burn. We'll probably still want to get another centre half in, and we need somebody happy not to just to be around the group. And that's what he is. He's probably happy to be around Newcastle right now. He's got an extra year. I think a year's fair enough. I don't think I would have given him much more than a year. So I think it's about long-term plans. And I think Paul Dummett is a short-term good player, medium and long-term. I think he knows his future. But I think if he wanted game time, he would have got game time somewhere else rather than Newcastle. Yeah. But he must be happy to be here.
I agree on that. He could have went elsewhere, play for a high-end championship side, or even in a lower Premier League side, get game time, assuming he's fit. I think he's going to accept that. He's going to be a squad player. He does fit the criteria of you've got to have at least 8 homegrown players. So he's one of them. And it kind of similar to Mark Gillespie, they're there in the background. Mark Gillespie is ticking boxes, let's face it, because you can always use one of the under 21 goalkeepers. But Paul Dummett, I probably am being a little bit harsh. I just thought I'd throw that question out there. But will he be used loads? No. Will he play 10 games if lucky? Probably. I think so. But he's there as a squad filler. I think it's a similar with Sean. We'll do a video on Sean when that news comes out. But now, next man we've talked about, he's all over the media the last 24 hours, is Alan Saint-Maximin. He claims he's been misquoted. I'll read it out first. And Eddie's gone out to say the quotes didn't come across in the way he meant. He was concerned. He came to me and didn't mean to damage the team and the unity we've built. I'll be speaking with the squad to make sure that there's no fallout from it. Now, we all know that there is misquotes when players go on international duty or they're speaking to the home press. Do you think there's some truth in it at all? Or is it just a load of horseshit?
I don't know. And I don't want to... I know, I don't want to tag us sitting on the fence, but I have to be honest. I'm not ASM's biggest number one fan. I have to be honest. I think in terms of the player himself, there is an argument without him we wouldn't be a Premier League club, and I get that. I don't know. He just frustrates me. He frustrated me against Liverpool massively. He's got to release that ball earlier. Got to release it earlier. I don't care if you're playing Liverpool, it's on the telly or whatever. Got to release that ball earlier. But on his day, by God, he could beat anybody on the planet. In terms of the actual quotes, if there's any truth in that, it's so disrespectful. So disrespectful. It's a team game. And especially when you've got other players in that squad now that are, in terms of...
Who does he mean, though? That quote, is it Chris Wood?
He's looking at Chris Wood and Miguel Almiron, isn't he? Chris Wood, Miguel Almiron, Jacob Murphy. Let's be honest. He's better than all three of them put together. Some would argue, but I don't know.
It could be like we could be talking.
He's been doing these interviews for years at Newcastle. You know, he hasn't. He wants to play in the top leagues.
If there's any truth to it, comparing himself to Sadio Mane. Sorry, but Sadio Mane is way up here compared to any Newcastle player. Even to some extent, even Bruno's got to prove a little bit. Even though Bruno's come in and had a great couple of months, the Sadio Mane would be first choice in Newcastle starting 11 over anybody at the minute because
ASM wouldn't get the same numbers that Mane gets at Liverpool if he was in that Liverpool team.
I don't think Klopp will play him
because Klopp would substitute him more time as well.
Yeah. No, I would agree on that. But the quotes, look, there may be some element of truth in it. I think he probably has been misquoted in some of it. But yeah, doesn't look good, put it that way, because he's come out and said it and Eddie Howe hasn't denied it. So they do seem like they've been misquoted, potentially. Some good news, though. We've seen a picture of a builder just chilling and around the stadium. You might have seen this. Obviously, Alan Shearer's statue is on the way to be moved. And Eddie's gone out and say we have to celebrate our history and important people have to be given respect. Moving the statue onto the club's land is a symbolic gesture that now we're together again and we'll celebrate everything he's achieved. And again, this just goes down to what me and Sam were talking about a little bit earlier about the training ground. It's just some of that's been neglected and pushed aside. And it wasn't even the club who done it. It was Freddie Shepherd who pushed for the statue. And whether you think of Freddie Shepherd, at least he's gone out on his own way and put money into it as well, and his own money as well. So it's just good to see. And again, it's another, not ticking boxes, but it's just another thing that could be easily fixed by the ownership, dead easy, and it pleases well.
It's an easy win. It's an easy win. You've hit the nail on the head. It's an easy win. Things like moving the Shearer statue, renaming the bar Shearer's Bar, moving all the Sports Direct signs. It's just little things, man. Little things go a long way. Cleaning the bloody stadium. That was one of the Chronicles. We were speaking to Aaron. That was one of the Chronicles' best things, is the stadium being cleaned. It's easy wins. Look, it should have been done first time, and God rest his soul, Freddie Shepherd put the money in and to do that for Alan. So yeah, fantastic. And look, you'd hope that they can get it done before the Arsenal game. That would be good. I don't know how quickly you can move a statue. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but that would be good. And you get people taking pictures left, right, and centre. It'd be a good news headline going into the game.
That would be a great picture because if you're taking a selfie, you've got Shearer and then you've got Bobby just above you.
Bobby, yeah.
Oh, that's a great photo. There's your profile picture right there. There's your profile picture right there.
You can get it framed, eh?
More than the women, shortly. Moving on, so that's great news. Obviously, when that's done, we'll do a proper video on that. I spoke about him a little bit earlier on, and Eddie Howe's been asked about Sean again, and he's gone out and said, I hope we can get a positive resolution with Sean. Hopefully, that one's moving. Well, that one's moving quite well, and it's in the right direction. But obviously, until he's signed the contract, he can't say for definite. That looks like it's happening, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I wonder how old is Sean? Is he 24
now, isn't he?
So he'll probably want a 5-year deal. Will he get a 5-year deal at Newcastle?
Does he deserve a pay rise?
Well, considering what he is on, I would have thought so. Yeah. because he signed. What was the last contract he signed? Was a month before he kind of made his first team appearance. And I think it was like the FA Cup game.
What should he be on? 20k, 30k?
Well, how much do you think Matty's on? I don't think the money side's important. I think what is important is whether he's going to get games at Newcastle. And I'm not convinced he gets games at Newcastle. I still think he's getting played in the wrong position. But we've been saying this argument for years, Lee.
Yeah.
We think, me and you both agree on it, he's more better as a number 10. We've been saying that for God knows how long.
Yeah,
but
I remember being out at St. James's Park saying Sean Longstaff's the next biggest thing because he was banging. He had 10 goals. Came out of an under 23 game. He's playing a number 10.
I don't know. It just depends because if he wants to stay at Newcastle, in the sense of wanting to stay and play for his hometown club, he could do a Paul Dummett. He could do a Paul Dummett and stay for as long as he really wants. But the question's got to be asked: does he want to play football week in, week out? And if the answer is yes, he's not guaranteed that at Newcastle. He's not guaranteed that at Newcastle, and I think there has to be part of the reason why. But I don't know, Lee. At the minute, he's fifth choice centre midfield. He's fifth choice.
He could be sixth if Hayden's fit next season. Hayden's used as cover again.
I don't see Hayden being at Newcastle next season.
I don't know. He can fill at centre back as well. I can see Hayden staying. Me personally, I can see it.
I can't. I really can't.
I think if you're going to play,
it depends how much business Newcastle, isn't it?
I guess so. I think if you're going to have 3 centre midfielders, you need 3 replacements. We don't have a specialist defensive midfielder. You might argue that Bruno is, but Bruno hasn't been playing there at all. In fact, Shelby hasn't really. Shelby's the deepest, but he's not sweeping off the back four, making crunching tackles. He's not. We're playing a high press game, so we've got 3 centre midfielders effectively. And I think we'll see with Hayden, but Sean Longstaff, we expect that to happen. We do. Whether you think that's right, I don't personally. I think he's had his time. I think, but again, homegrown players tick. A player, would he accept being rotated? Probably. He's a local lad. Matty, on the other hand, he's probably going to go out the door, I would have thought. He's still got a year left.
He's still got a year, isn't he? Yeah, he's still got a year, but
he's bossing it in League 2. That's the thing. And Elliot Anderson's killing it in League 2. I think Elliot Anderson will get another loan and go up a division. It's too good.
There was a lot of speculation. I don't know which journalist, so don't quote me on it, but I think Sheffield Wednesday, who are currently playing right now against Sheffield United, Middlesbrough. I think it was 2 of the Championship clubs were linked. But I would give Elliot, not that I think Elliot Anderson should be a part of Newcastle's first team next season, but I would definitely give him the summer. Definitely give him the summer. Let Eddie Howe have a look at him. And he doesn't have to go on loan to a Championship club straight away. Wait until maybe the 1, 2, 3 days before the window shuts, because there will always be interest in a player like that from Championship clubs. So I personally would just let him have the pre-season with Newcastle and see how he gets on. But it will be fascinating to see what happens with him.
Like Joe White had a whole pre-season. I know Bruce is what you ever think of him, but he was looked at. But the thing is, Matty Longstaff, if he is in the squad, has to be registered now. He's gone past the age, whereas Elliot Anderson doesn't. So you can still be in the squad and not be registered. And we haven't got many kids that are breaking through. Unfortunately, Dylan Stevenson, the next one, he needs a loan.
Yeah.
Jay Turner-Cook's Boston under 23s. He needs probably a loan. But we'll focus on a good feel factor, NUFC women. So Eddie's gone out and say we haven't been in contact yet, but I will be inviting Becky to the training ground to see how we work. I think uniting every aspect of Newcastle is important, and we can only benefit from being close together. Eddie Howe was just sitting behind us on the women's game, just a few rows behind us the other day, which was great to see him there. And obviously, it was a great occasion. On Sunday, we got a picture taken with the owners. It's on the socials, even that. So Johnny's even framed it, haven't you? You got it round.
I personally didn't frame it.
Are you sure?
I'll have to say that now.
I'm framed in Johnny's living room. Is that where I am?
Whatever you want to be, mate. Wherever you want to be.
Yeah, but it was a great day, and it was great to see that. What's happened with the women's stuff. We've been pushing, as I say, on the channel for a few years now. But Eddie Howe wants to bring Becky in. There's been talk about it, and obviously there is talk about what's going to happen, where the women are going to be based. as well. But we'll not speculate too much. But things are happening. We'll say that, which is good, which is what we want. And hopefully next season they go on and just blow that league apart. Maybe I'm going unbeaten. Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on Betty there, but why not? I think where getting beat just twice in the whole season, you don't get promoted, is incredibly tough. Incredibly tough. And you got to remember with that division, you come second, you don't even have playoffs. That's how tough the league is because it's all regional. But we'll wrap up there, Johnny. Thank you for popping on. If you're watching, please smash the like. If you're watching the reruns, please smash the like. We've covered a lot. We've gone through the tactile pad. We've covered the training ground. We've covered the press conference, score predictions, Manchester City. I'm down there. I'll have a drive down preview for you. All the coverage of Manchester City. I think it's Matt and Soccer Steve on the watch along. We've got a Formula One video over on NFTV Extra as well in Miami. Lovely city. Howie Ferrari. I might stick my Ferrari top on tomorrow over the weekend. And then I'm doing something with Manchester City around the women's the stadium as well, just for the channel for a few days as well, just to get a pinch of ideas what Newcastle can look at. But yeah, Johnny, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Sam as well, if you're watching, thank you for joining us earlier on in the first half. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you at Manchester.